But the concept we've been trying to explore with more is, when is more enough? Because you seem to get more, but then it's never enough again, and then you want more, and it's like it's this continual thing that drives us. So when is more enough? So we're going to recap in a little while the whole series, but I want to say a few different things about that maybe you haven't thought about in regard to more. What is it that drives us for more? What is the need that's in it? Are we driven by fear? Are we driven by failure? Maybe it's a desire to be seen, to be noticed, to prove that I am someone in this world. And I guess if we're going to be honest, most of us probably have a little bit of that going on at different times. Or maybe some of it is because we have a sense that we are created for more. And so there is an unsettling there because we kind of know where we are, but we know, I feel like I should be more. And what's that all about? I never cease to be amazed at the way that God has worked with me since I first gave my life to Christ at 21 years of age. I haven't been happy about this, and it still is exactly the same today. The Lord will just speak to me about something, and he will say, I want you to do this, but he will never give me the whole picture. He won't give me a picture. He just gives me a little fragment here, or a little nudge there, or a little thought there. He said, now I just want you to step out on the water. And that is terrifying. It's terrifying. What if I get it wrong? It's not just about me, it's terrifying. So you have to display, if you're going to walk with the Lord and you're going to do anything, you have to be willing to step out with what I call 20 seconds of courage. And 20 seconds of courage is where you actually leap off the cliff and, well, whatever happens, the Lord's going to do it. And that's the way the Lord has taken me all through my life. And I realize that part of that is living by faith, and part of that is because he wants me to be more. I have to be more than what I was last year, but in order to be more, I've got to be put in a position that I need to be more. So when God whispered to me about this series, More, it was just a soap devotion that I had written, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. And I didn't really know where to go, but then once I brought the other communicators in and all their gifts and all their talents, it became very obvious that this is going a whole different direction to what I thought in the beginning. But then now, knowing what's been happening in you guys' lives and you guys online too, and the amount of people that's connected, this whole concept of more is very, very real for us to get a handle on. And I think it's part of God actually recalibrating us. That's our word for the year. Recalibrating us back to what is important. Recalibrating us back to our first love. Helping us figure out what is the priority, because since COVID, we haven't really, in the West, in the Western church, I don't think we've really got back what we lost during COVID, which we became very self-focused, very introverted, very protective, very non-risk. And God's saying, no, it's time to kind of step right in that. So I could have taken that little devotion that I had, and I could have played it safe, and I could have just stuck it away, and it could have sat on a shelf, and I could have enjoyed it and that. But we'd never have got to see what God has done through collectively moving through this together. So God never gives us it. And I was reminded again, it's faithfulness to God that counts. It's being faithful with what you've got in your hands, bringing who you are and what you can do, and then just giving it to the Lord and say, okay, you bless it, and let's just see where this goes. Because God is not looking for perfection. What he's looking for is obedience and faithfulness. That's what he's looking for. He's been looking for it all along. The first part of your Bible, the Jewish portion of your Bible, you'll see Israel was continually unfaithful. And so God is still looking for people that will be faithful to him. Now, part of this, you'll notice there's a set of values outside, and we have them on our website. And this whole thing about bringing the best that we've got is we've got something we've got to watch out for. So we have a value called fun and wow. Now, the reason we call it wow is because we used to use the word excellence. But anyone that knows anything about leadership in any culture, excellence can really quickly morph into perfectionism, and that hurts people. It damages people, because the demand for perfection is an insatiable more. You've got to become more in this world so you can please people more. But God is saying, I don't want you to get caught up in that. I want you to learn to be more. Be more in me and let me do something through you. So this demand for perfection is really, really, it's a real problem for people. It was a problem for me when I was younger growing up. To the point where I did not want to step out and do anything different because I've seen what had happened to leaders that put their head out there and it didn't go so good. So I just decided to do the turtle approach, I don't really agree with that, just pull your head in and just leave it alone. But then I realized that wasn't helpful either because then people just continually got hurt. So this perfection thing, what it does is it causes you, the demand for perfection causes you to bury your gift. You bury it. So some of you know that you can sing. Some of you know that you can play an instrument. But you're never going to let us know because you can't sing like Tom. You can't sing like Megan. Do you know the point is you're not supposed to sing like them. You're supposed to sing like you. We already have a Tom and Megan. And if you play guitar, you're going to watch Chris and Brett up here and there. Oh, I could never play like that. Well, we don't want you to play like that. We want to take the gift that's in you and play the way God's called you to. But you see what happens is you want to let us know. Why? Because the demand for perfectionism and being perfect stops you from actually even stepping out and say, I can play a little bit, your little gift, so therefore you bury it. Some of you write songs that we will never hear because they're never perfect. You write them, you can't play them good enough, they don't sound quite right, they're not perfect, so they stay in there, and then you bury it, and eventually, after you're dead and gone, someone goes, oh, that was a pretty good song they had written there. See, we do this. This demand for perfectionism is really, really bad. Like, my pastor didn't really help me when I was young. I came out of a rock and roll band, and my pastor, I thought, I'll write a song about my new faith. So I wrote this song. I thought it was a good song. And I said to the pastor, can I play this song? Because I feel like God's given me this song. And he said, sure. And he was so lovely. He sat down there and played this song, got through the whole thing. And I'm just going, okay. And he said to me afterwards, this is brilliant. He said, God did give you that song. I said, really? He said, he didn't want it. It stinks. That wasn't real helpful. Bit of truth in there. Maybe it wasn't such a great song. But you see, that's the reason why we bury it, because we're frightened that someone's going to reject us. Some of us should be up there serving in the kids and loving on our youth and things in the generations. But you go, I can't do that. I can't do that. Why can't you do that? Because I don't understand kids. You were one. Of course you understand kids. But I don't have enough time. Well, when things slow down, well, then I'll serve. Well, good luck with that. When's anything going to slow down? You have to learn how to bring your gift to play in every season and every area of life. And yeah, it's different at different times. And the same thing goes on with regards to giving. This has been a real big one. I've had so many guys over the years. They go, hey, listen, Pastor, I'd really love to give. And I know I should give, but I've looked at how much I give. It's just a little bit. You've got so much debt around here, so much debt. But listen, I'm about to break through here. And when I do, I'll have my millions. And I'm going to pay off your building, and then we're going to do another campus. And it's amazing. I said, that is really good, but how about just give a little bit now? Oh, no. No, it's not quite good enough now. I've got to wait till I get the whole lot. And then it's amazing. Then I watch them grow, and then they make all this money, and then I know that they're making all this money, and then they go, hey, Pastor, I think the Lord is leading me to another church. You mean a church where the pastor doesn't know that you have the money now? And the reason why they get stuck in there is because if you don't learn how to give in the little that you've got, you can never give when God starts to make it bigger. It's a real trap. It's this thing where, it's got to be perfect beforehand. God just wants us to bring who we are, where we are, and with what we have right now. That's all he's asking. It's all he's asking for us, not perfection. Please don't wait for perfection. You will never serve, you will never give, you will never do anything, and you will die frustrated at the end of your life because you missed every opportunity to be more and to step out because you had to wait for everything to be perfect. We all do this. Hey, looking for someone to serve. I'm no good at that. No, I'm no good at that. Have you done it before? No. No, but I'm no good at it. How do you know you're no good at it? Everybody's no good at it at the start. But these are the excuses we kind of use that when you fall for that demand for perfectionism. I had someone say to me once, he said, I don't know how you do all that cleaning. I said, cleaning's not my gift. Cleaning's not your gift. Yeah, now cleaning's not my gift. I can preach, I can teach, but cleaning's not my gift. I must admit, I was a little bit naughty. I'll confess now since we're in the room together. He said, cleaning's not my gift, Pastor. Is laziness your gift? And he looked at me and went, I don't do anything. It is your gift. You have a very good gift there. You'll keep working on that. This trap, but it's in everything. Like what happens when you're out of shape? You're going to say, I'm going to get in shape. So what do? You put together a program that Grant Kenny Ironman couldn't do in a week. And you are going to do that thing, and you're going to make that thing happen. And then you wake up in the morning, it's raining. Oh, it's too wet today. And then it's too dry the next day, and then it's too dark, and then it's too light. And before you know it, program's out the door. And then what do? You go, well, I was going to tie that to my new diet too. But my new diet, I've got it in my net diary, and I've got this, and I'm going to eat that. And then you come in here, and then someone goes, hey, you want a cookie? And then you eat the cookie, and you go, oh, what the heck? Give me a burger, fries, and a Coke as well to go with it. It's what happens. We just kind of, if we can't get the perfection. Is that you laughing, Nate? Did you say that about me? Wait till we get home. No. What I'm saying to you is this demand for perfection is in us everywhere, and there's a bad one for young ones today. And this is the one I'm probably going to upset some people here. This whole thing of, I can't work full time. I'm too tired. I've got to have a purple day. What the heck is that? If I had a purple day, it was because Dad beat me. No, it wasn't like that. I've got to have a purple day. I've got to stop everything, Pastor. I'm really stressed. I've got to stop everything because I need to conserve my energy. You can't conserve your energy. The point of energy is you only get more energy if you expel energy. So if you stop doing everything, you don't have any energy. And if you don't believe me about this, go and talk to someone that's widowed, whose spouse retired and did nothing and 2 years later was dead. That's what happens. There is some stuff out there at a highly humanitarian area that's actually really destructive. And I want to burst your bubble, but go right back to Genesis. How many days does it say we should work? 6. 1 day off. What do we work now? 4, 3 days off? Maybe that's why we've got too much time on our hands. That's what's going on. We're too lazy, but now I'm too tired. It's like there's so much going wrong here. If you want to flip that round, God's saying just take 1 day off. That's all you need. That's all you need to recover. What God is after is the discipline of duty with him. That's all he wants us to do. He just wants us to love him with the little bit that we've got. And it doesn't have to be perfect. He can make it perfect. You bring it to him. Now, let me give you a story because you need to have something out of the scriptures. John chapter 6, and you see this working beautifully. Jesus is in there in an area where he always is, and there's people around everywhere. There's a big crowd. Big crowd's turned up. And so Jesus sees the big crowd and says 5,000 men, so it's probably about 8,000 or 9,000 what come count women and children. And so anyway, he says, this is a great opportunity to teach my disciples and to see how these disciples are going. So this is what he does. He goes across, he goes, hey, Philip, where shall I buy some bread to give these people to eat? He only asked this, it says, to test him, for he already had in mind what he was going to do. Philip answered, it would take more than a half a year's wages to buy enough bread to give anyone 1 bite. So Philip's done. No faith there. If you can't get the perfect scenario, we're not even going to start. So let's go on a bit more. Then another disciple turns up, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. He goes, well, here we go. I found this boy with 5 loaves, barley fish, 2 small fish. How far will they go? That's not going to be much, is it? Tanks, Andrew's down, no faith in Andrew. Isn't it interesting? There's no book in the Bible inspired by the Holy Spirit by Philip or Andrew. Apparently, They didn't have anything that was worth being listened to. But Jesus goes on, he goes, I think Jesus must have gone, oh, love of God, love of God. How long do I have to stay with these guys? You still don't get it. There's no faith in you. Sit them down, put them on the grass, we'll feed them there. And he takes the loaves, he takes the loaves and the fish, and then he prays, and then he distributes. And those who were all seated down had just a bite. No, they had as much as they wanted. They all got filled up. This is amazing. He did the same with the fish. Pulling stuff out of nowhere. What is going on here? And at the end of it, so they gathered them up, and there was 12 baskets left over. There is so much going on in this. So massive. Think about this. Just try. Now, no one can use their imagination anymore because we just stay on devices all day long. You need to get off them so you can use your imagination. Let's just imagine that we're here and you're the crowd that's just come in, right? And Jesus just spoke to you, hey, listen, go, we need to get some food. We need to get some food. And Philip's going, well, I don't know. I can't even get anything anywhere who's going to do this. And what about you, Andrew? Oh, a little boy with little things. Oh, okay. The little boy has got his little lunchbox. He's got his lunchbox. And Andrew must have been running around going, hey, listen, we need some food. Has anyone got any food? Has anyone got anything? Anyone got some Uncle Toby's muesli bars? Because we'll take those. We're so desperate here. This is such a big crowd. 2-minute noodles. If you got that, that would be fabulous. So the little boy would have been listening to them trying to find this. And maybe the little boy said to Andrew, who are we going to feed? All of this lot. Now, if I was that little boy with my lunchbox, which I am, I would have walked in here and gone, how many are we going to feed? This is not going to do any good. I'll just keep this to myself. But he doesn't. He looks inside and he goes, what have I got? An apple. No, that didn't go so well, friend. We won't give him that. I've got some fish. The fish that John West rejects, but you're welcome to have them. And some bread. Think about this. That little boy was confronted with the demand for perfection. There's a massive crowd we've got to feed, and that's all I've got. He could have looked at that and just gone, oh, forget that. There's nothing. I can't help. My little gift is not worth anything, and just stuck it back, kept it to himself. But instead, he must have said to Andrew, hey, Andrew, listen, I got this. It's not that much, but I don't know about you, but I've heard some pretty neat things about this Jesus, and maybe he can do something with my little bit. So if Jesus wants it, it's his. You see the difference? It's his. Amazing. He was not held back by the demand for perfection. And at the end, there's 12 baskets. Why 12 baskets? That's a silly number, isn't it? These are Jewish people. They understood right back in the wilderness, thousands of years earlier, God gave them bread from heaven. Jesus has turned up as bread from heaven, takes a little bit from a little boy, and he's now feeding them again. And I think he was making a statement. He said, here's 12 baskets of bread. Take them back to the leaders of your tribe and say, remember. Amazing. Here's the other part that I often think about. What would have happened if he would have kept his lunchbox? Would the crowd have gone home empty? Does God limit himself to us human beings participating with him in order to reveal himself? Oh, it's amazing. And what's God want from you and I? Just love me with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Just do that. Just love me with everything you've got. And I've given you a simple mechanism for that. Well, not me, Pastor Wayne did. Soap devotions. You just do soap every day. Sit at Jesus' feet. Listen. Take it. And there are people that you need to feed out of what's coming out of your devotions. Then love your neighbor out of that place of health. Go love on them the way that Jesus loved us. Then you just pick up a towel. These are all just the basic frameworks of who we are as a church. And you serve. Bring your presence, who you are. The little bit that you've got. Like the little boy, the little bit that may just feed thousands. But if you don't invest it, if you don't give it to him, it's not going anywhere. There's plenty of areas to serve, everywhere. It doesn't have to be up in the kids or the youth or the production or things like that. You've got people that you're building relationships that don't know Christ. Living Mission, that's what we do. Start your own little intentional missional village. Gather a few of them together. Teach them how to read the scriptures. Teach them how to love God for themselves, how to gain and maintain a relationship. Intentional missional villages only work if you have unchurched people around. That's the dynamic. That's what they were for. But there's plenty of places. So God is after our obedience and our faithfulness so that we can be more and he can use us for more. Because when you hand you a little bit, he blesses, he uses it. Can you imagine that little boy for the rest of his life? He's going to be talking to people about the day that I brought my lunch. And thousands of people got fed. Thousands. Not just a bite. He fed them thousands out of this. And then 12 baskets to take away too. And I just want you to know, that was me. But was it me? Or was it God?